Examine what your nature requires, so far as you have no other law to govern you. And when you have looked into her inclinations, never balk them, unless your animal nature is likely to be worse for it. Then you are to examine what your animal nature demands. And here you may indulge your appetite as far as you please, provided your rational nature does not suffer by the liberty. Now, your rational nature admits of nothing but what is serviceable to the rest of mankind. Keep to these rules, and you will regard nothing else. Whatever happens, either you have strength to bear it or you have not. If you have, exert your nature and never murmur at the matter. But if the way is too heavy for you, do not complain. It will crush you and then destroy itself. And here you are to remember that to think a thing tolerable and endurable is the way to make it so if you do but press it strongly on the grounds of interest or duty. He that is truly disciplined and reverent will address nature in this language. Give me what you please, and take what you please away. And there is not the least tincture of vanity in this, but it proceeds wholly from obedience and satisfaction with her. Consider what a humble figure people make when they are eating or sleeping. But when they put on lordly airs and strut about, or grow angry and abuse their inferiors from an altitude, and yet how many little masters did they lately cringe to? How mean was their salary, and what a sorry condition will they come to in a short time? How does my guiding principle stand affected? To what condition am I now bringing it, and to what uses do I put it? Am I grown selfish and broken loose from the general interest? Is my soul as it were melted and mingled with the body, and perfectly governed by it? He that struggles with his fortune and makes an affliction of it is much like a pig that kicks and cries out when his throat is cutting. And he that, when he is sick, mourns to himself over the bonds in which we are held is not much better. We should consider that none but rational creatures have the privilege of making necessity a choice. Merely to submit is what all are compelled to do. When anybody's misbehavior disturbs you, immediately turn to yourself and bethink you whether you have not been guilty of the same fault. For instance, whether you have not overvalued money or pleasure or fame or the like. Such reflections will quickly make you forget, especially if you consider that the offender was not altogether his own man, but under some untoward compulsion. For what else could he do? Therefore, if you can, step in to the rescue and free him from the compulsion. He that is well tinctured with philosophy needs but a short receipt. A common cordial will keep up such a man's spirits and expel fear from his heart. For instance, as leaves on trees the race of man is found, now green in youth, now withering on the ground, so your children are but leaves. Leaves, too, are the echoes of praise, and censure, and silent blame, and reproach. Leaves, too, are the continuance of fame. All these matters, like leaves, have their spring for growing. Then a puff of wind sends them packing, and quickly after the wood is new furnished again. Things are strangely short-lived, and yet you fear and pursue them as if all were everlasting. But for all that, you will soon close your eyes, and then he that is your chief mourner will quickly want another for himself. Let it be your constant method to look into the design of people's actions and see what they would be at as often as it is practicable. And to make this custom the more significant, practice it first upon yourself. Remember that what pulls and hails you from one passion to another is but your fancy within you. There lies the rhetoric that persuades you. That is the light thing, and to speak plainly, that is the man, after all. But when you talk of a man, I would not have your tack flesh and blood to the notion, nor those limbs neither which are made out of it. These are but fools for the soul to work with. Now the only difference is that nature has glued them as if it were to the soul, but the use of them depends solely upon the mind. It is the will that either checks or sets them going. They have but the force of instruments, and signify no more without foreign direction than a shuttle, a pen, or a whip, which will neither weave nor write nor lash the horses without somebody to manage them.